Hello everyone, back to Oni-chan. At this moment, Luffy's group stood before the Enies lobby courtyard, the headquarters of CP9, to rescue Robin. I don't need you to save me, so please leave, Spandam declared. This is the flag of the most powerful government in the world. What can a bunch of little pirates like you do? Luffy realized that the world government itself was Robin's enemy, so he told Sogeking, burn that flag, causing the flag to ignite to everyone's surprise. They dared declare war against the world government. Robin, please tell us you want to live. This made Robin cry because she had truly found comrades, willing to sacrifice and fight for her. I want to live. Take me out to sea with you all. So Luffy's team prepared for battle. Just wait, Robin, I'll come to save you right away. At this moment, Franky's subordinates lowered a drawbridge to help Luffy's group advance towards CP9. However, CP9 fired cannons at the bridge's supports, causing it to stop. Meanwhile, Franky showed Spandam the blueprint of the ancient weapon Pluton, making CP9 surprised and eager to seize it. Suddenly, he lit the blueprint on fire, not wanting the ancient weapon to fall into the hands of the world government. This made him furious, and he promptly pushed Franky off the cliff. Nami received a message that Kokoro was also coming to help them. So Luffy stretched out his arm and embraced the entire group, jumping down. The whole team then jumped onto the train successfully and infiltrated CP9's headquarters. This terrified Spandam, who immediately instructed Lucci to protect him and prepare to take Robin away. On the other side, Luffy's team stumbled upon a chubby enemy while searching for Robin. He informed them that Robin was being taken to the Gate of Justice, and if they wanted to unlock Robin's seastone handcuffs, they would have to defeat all the CP9 members to obtain the key. With that, he departed. Luffy was determined to chase after them quickly but was stopped by Zoro, as the whole group needed to plan ahead. At this point, the whole group had separated from each other. While Luffy was lost, Spandam opened the tunnel gate leading to the Gate of Justice. Franky confronted the chubby guy Fukuru. Nami faced off against the crazy long-haired Kumadori, and Sanji entered a room to face a woman named Khalifa. Sanji then displayed his refinement and even showed Khalifa how to properly brew tea. While Zoro had encountered Kaku, Luffy had reached the top of the tower but couldn't find anyone. At this point, Kaku said, "My sword technique is the strongest in CP9. Zoro realized that he was using a dual sword style, so he immediately charged in to attack him. Even one of his kicks felt like a sword strike, so he continuously unleashed his sickle wind attacks on Zoro. However, Zoro managed to block all of his blows. Now I will show you my new strength. He suddenly used his devil fruit power and transformed. On Sogeking's side, he encountered a CP9 member who was asleep. He had left the key right in front of him, so Sogeking had to sneak up and take the key without making a sound. He didn't even dare to cough. Unexpectedly, a chicken jumped out and woke the CP9 member up. He immediately punched Sogeking. He immediately transformed into a wolfman, which frightened Usopp. Suddenly, the ceiling collapsed, and Zoro and Kaku fell down. It turned out that Kaku's devil fruit ability allowed him to transform into a giraffe. Zoro thought he had ended up in a zoo, while the wolfman continued to laugh in Kaku's face. So, he transformed into his human beast form, which was still quite bizarre, causing Jabra to continue laughing at Kaku. Suddenly, Usopp discovered a pair of handcuffs, but he accidentally put them on Zoro's wrist. Kaku, infuriated, decided to unleash his ultimate technique. With a single spin, he cut through both the room and the tower, leaving Sogeking astonished as the tower was sliced in half. He realized that his and Zoro's hands were handcuffed together, making it impossible for them to fight. They mentioned it was the second pair of cuffs, and then they transformed to attack them. When Chopper arrived, he saw the group playing a lively game of tag. Zoro immediately asked Chopper to help him find the second key. Meanwhile, Luffy had taken a boat out to sea towards the Gate of Justice, with enormous water whirlpools on both sides. However, he ended up sinking into the water and was close to drowning. Chopper, on the other hand, was running to find the key for Zoro. Meanwhile, Sanji was still enjoying tea with the girl. Because he kept flirting with the girl, Sanji ended up receiving a kick from Khalifa. Seeing that Sanji was still relaxed and took out his cigarette to smoke, Khalifa continued her attack on him. But when he counterattacked, Sanji always held back against her, so he ended up being kicked in the groin. Sanji continued to be attacked by Khalifa. Meanwhile, Nami was being captured by the guy named Kumadori, and he had the habit of talking a lot. Chopper immediately appeared and gave him a slap that sent him flying into a wall. allowing Nami to successfully steal the third key. Suddenly, Sanji fell down, and his body was left slippery and shiny as if he had just taken a soap bath. Nami realized that Sanji's opponent was a woman, and scolded him, saying, "If you don't fight, you'll die." Sanji declared, "Even if I die, I won't fight women." She realized that it was one of Sanji's principles. Therefore, Nami decided to step in and fight Khalifa on behalf of Sanji. Suddenly, Kumadori arrived to obstruct Nami. Chopper immediately stepped forward to battle him. Meanwhile, Luffy had been rescued by Chimney. Thanks to that, he is still alive. But Luffy remained determined to rescue Robin at all costs. Fortunately, Chimney knew another path to the Gate of Justice. It turned out that she had seen Spandam and Lucci enter this gate earlier. So, Luffy immediately used Gear 3 to destroy the gate. This shocked both Chimney and the rabbit, because Luffy had become small like a child again. Fortunately, he returned to his normal size 5 minutes later. As for Robin, she only gave Spandam a glance, and he responded by slapping her across the face. On Frankie's side, he was engaged in a battle with the chubby guy, Fukuru. Even though he was gradually weakening due to running out of cola. But Frankie still wanted to continue fighting him. Suddenly, Chopper was also knocked over in their direction. Fortunately, he spotted a large refrigerator and promptly locked Kumadori inside it. Frankie had run out of coca, so he was continuously being attacked by Fukuru. So, Chopper opened the refrigerator and got 3 bottles of coca for him. They thought he had gotten the right thing. But it turned out that Chopper had accidentally given Frankie fruit juice instead. In the end, he finally got the coca. So, Frankie quickly regained his strength. "This time, it's my turn to fight you." With just one punch, Frankie sent him flying. They thought Fukuru had been defeated. Surprisingly, he managed to get back on his feet. Frankie then used another technique. Chopper thought this technique was like a self-guided missile. However, this move turned out to be more like a child's game. Suddenly, he moved very quickly, and rolled his body straight at Frankie, causing both of them to fall into the sea. While Frankie was trying to swim, Fukuru used CP9's Jeppo to fly through the air, and he lunged to attack Frankie. So, Frankie jumped up and fired at him, but he didn't manage to hit Fukuru. Frankie immediately farted and flew straight to where he was, and pulled Fukuru down with him, leaving him with only one leg to fly in midair. While Zoro and Usopp were still playing tag with these two, and they were arguing. Then Zoro proposed a game where the loser would get their hand cut off. But in the end, they figured out a way for Usopp to hold the sword to assist Zoro. While Fukuru was preparing to attack Frankie, Frankie gathered all his cola into his arm and fired a powerful shot. So, he defeated Fukuru. At this point, Kumadori had also escaped and eaten all the food in the fridge, causing his body to become as round as a ball. But with just a fart, he returned to his normal form, making Chopper excited and asking him to do it again. So he used his hair to attack Chopper. When Chopper punched back, he used Tekai to harden his body. He realized that his Rumble Ball usage time was running out, and he had only one more transformation left. So Chopper decided to bite the third Rumble Ball. But this time, he couldn't control his form anymore, so he was immediately defeated. On Zoro's side, he continued to attack them, but Usopp couldn't grip the sword tightly. Zoro said, "I guess there's only one way, cutting off the hand." Chopper was determined to find the keys for Zoro and Usopp, so he tried to stand up again. Kumadori began to transform his hair into fingers and repeatedly stabbed Chopper's body. Despite that, he still stood up. But no matter what form he transformed into, he couldn't harm Kumadori. Realizing that he didn't have much time left, Chopper unleashed his final attack to push Kumadori back. However, Chopper collapsed afterward. Kumadori, on the other hand, remained unharmed and continued to torment Chopper relentlessly. At this point, he no longer had the strength to resist. However, because Chopper wanted to help everyone, so Chopper lost control and transformed into a giant monster. This made Kumadori start to fear. His attacks couldn't harm Chopper anymore. Chopper just roared, causing his hair to lose control. Then, Chopper attacked him. Frankie also obtained the fourth key. He realized that the second key to unlock Zoro's shackles was in Khalifa's hand. While Nami was trying to attack her, she thought she had avoided it, but unexpectedly got hit by Nami's lightning cloud. But thanks to her soap-based abilities, Khalifa managed to avoid it. So, she continued to use her soap bubbles to attack Nami. This made Nami unable to move, and Khalifa continued by kicking Nami. At this point, she applied soap to Nami's feet, making her feet slippery and preventing her from moving. Chopper was still out of control and continuously attacking Kumadori. When Frankie returned, He was surprised because Chopper had transformed into a monster. So, Frankie was also attacked by Chopper. Luffy had caught up to Robin, and Lucci noticed it, which made him smile with pleasure. Meanwhile, Spandam was terrified. Lucci said, "Let me handle him." Finally, Luffy had encountered Lucci again. Lucci remarked, "I've been waiting for you for a long time." Straw Hat, on the other hand, Spandam acted foolishly and mistakenly used the buster call Den Den Mushi to transmit a message to the Marine headquarters. This call could summon 10 Marine warships to destroy Enies Lobby. 20 years ago, it was the same buster call that devastated O'Hara Island, Robin's homeland. However, Spandam didn't care that this action would result in the deaths of 10,000 Marine soldiers stationed on Enies Lobby. All he needed to do was capture Robin and hand her over to the world government. Suddenly, Spandam realized that he had forgotten to turn off the transmission dial, so all of his soldiers on the island heard it. This made everyone frightened, and they started looking for a way to leave this place. While Luffy began to attack Lucci, he said, "I told you to step aside. I won't let you pass, Straw Hat." While Spandam was getting angry, he continued to torture Robin. Luffy, on the other hand, was eager to quickly get through the door but kept getting blocked by Lucci. At this point, he realized he had to defeat Lucci first. Nami was still being bathed in soap by Khalifa, causing Nami's body to become slippery and unable to move. Surprisingly, when she attacked, it was just a hologram of Nami. Suddenly, Chopper burst in from outside, and Nami recognized that the monster was actually Chopper. However, he continued to attack Nami because he had lost control. Chopper then picked up the bathtub and threw it away, unintentionally dropping it in Sanji's location. After that, Chopper continued to move further inside the building. Khalifa attacked Nami again. Nami realized that one of her legs had returned to normal due to the water, but Khalifa wasn't going to let Nami easily break her ability. Nami decided to create rain herself, which helped her return to normal. Suddenly, Nami disappeared and split into 5 illusions. She continued to use lightning to attack Khalifa. This caused Khalifa to be burned black, so she angrily attacked Nami, but still couldn't hit her. Khalifa, frustrated, created a soap wave that made all of Nami's illusions disappear. Finally, "I've found you," but to her surprise, Nami had planned ahead and created a cloud behind Khalifa. With just one strike, she defeated Khalifa. While Luffy continued to fight Lucci, no matter how Luffy attacked him, Lucci easily fought back against his attacks. While Zoro and Usopp were still being attacked by the 2 opponents, Chopper suddenly appeared and attacked both of them. They realized that he had lost control, but the 2 opponents were still behind them. At this moment, Frankie also arrived and fired a powerful shot at Chopper, sending him flying into the sea. Nami also rushed over and used the key to unlock Zoro's shackles, finally setting him free. Robin had managed to escape from Spandam and was about to run towards Luffy when he used his elephant sword, a devil fruit ability, to capture Robin again. Chopper had also been rescued by Frankie and had returned to his normal form. At this point, Kaku attacked Zoro again, but he was able to fight freely, so he counterattacked, and Jabra handed the key to Usopp. When Usopp picked up the key, he was immediately ambushed by Jabra, so Usopp began to attack him, but he was too fast and continuously tortured Usopp. Nami also rushed in and was pushed back by Jabra. When he was about to deal with Usopp, Sanji appeared, so Sanji kicked him. As soon as he saw Nami, he immediately started flirting. Suddenly, they all saw that outside, the gate of justice was starting to open, so they realized that they didn't have much time left. On Luffy's side, he was still being blocked by Lucci. Luffy kept getting beaten and thrown away by him. Sanji, on the other hand, told Usopp to leave because only he could help rescue Robin. Jabra continued to rush towards Sanji and unexpectedly managed to knock Sanji away. Sanji quickly returned and retaliated against him. Thanks to the Tekai technique that hardened his body, Sanji's kicks couldn't harm him, and Sanji was sent flying into the wall again. He quickly turned around and kicked the Wolfman in the face. Suddenly, Jabra handed the key to Sanji and said, "Go and save Robin. She's like a lost little sister to me." He lied about the story of the Little Red Riding Hood, thinking that Sanji would believe him. However, he was kicked by Sanji and sent flying to the ceiling. Thanks to that, Sanji managed to get the key. He pretended to run away, and when Jabra chased after him, Sanji immediately counterattacked. At this point, he finally revealed his true abilities and powers, continuously using martial arts to attack Sanji. So Sanji decided to use a new move. He spun around, causing his leg to ignite, increasing the power of his kick. Sanji immediately launched a powerful kick attack at him. When Sanji continued his attack, Jabra used Geppo to fly upward, but he was still hit by Sanji's flaming kick. Finally, Jabra was defeated. Robin was taken to the Gate of Justice by Spandam. She tried to run away but was continuously kicked by him. At this moment, Franky also ran over to where Luffy was. Seeing that Luffy was being blocked by Lucci, Franky intended to lend a hand to help Luffy. As for Zoro, he was still battling with Kaku. Seeing that the fight was taking too long, Zoro decided to use his Nitoryu style to attack Kaku. However, Zoro was still sent flying by Kaku's counterattack. Kaku began to contort his body into a square shape and used the sickle wind attack to continuously assault Zoro. This caused significant injuries to Zoro's body. Nevertheless, he didn't give up and aimed to cut through Kaku's hardened body. Zoro then unleashed a powerful strike, pushing Kaku back. While Luffy continued to be attacked by Lucci, Franky wanted to help, but Luffy stopped him, saying, "He is my opponent, you should go and rescue Robin." So, Franky immediately left. However, Lucci knocked down Luffy and blocked Franky's path. But Luffy continued to obstruct him. As for Kaku, he drew his sword to battle Zoro. So Zoro once again used his three-sword style to attack him in a circular motion. This left him puzzled as to why he was still hit by Zoro's attack even though he had dodged it. However, Kaku still didn't suffer too much damage. He continued to use his elongated neck to strike Zoro down to the ground. When he heard him insulting Robin, Zoro became angry. He realized it was time to get serious, so he decided to end this battle. So Zoro unleashed his haki, using his new technique, the 9-sword style, to manifest 3 heads and 6 arms. He easily blocked the attacks from his opponent. Zoro charged forward and defeated Kaku with a powerful strike, causing him to revert to his normal form. Realizing he had been defeated, Kaku decided to give Zoro his key, so Zoro and Sanji have obtained the last 2 keys. Meanwhile, Spandam is trying to take Robin through the Gate of Justice, but Robin is resisting vigorously, even using her teeth to bite down on the bridge, infuriating him, because Robin believes that everyone will come to rescue her. Meanwhile, Luffy is still being obstructed by Lucci, and not even Franky's iron fists could harm him. Suddenly, Luffy launches an attack on Lucci. Turns out he had decided to use Gear 2, so, Lucci also switched to his human beast form. But this time, both the speed and strength of Luffy had increased, and he was able to prevent Lucci from stopping Franky from leaving. At this moment, Lucci realized that he had underestimated Luffy. The gates of justice were fully open, and the Navy's warships were approaching. Spandam was dragging Robin towards the Gate of Justice and revealed to her that his own father was the one who had destroyed Robin's homeland. When Spandam was about to drag Robin through the Gate of Justice, he was unexpectedly attacked, leaving the Marines in shock. They couldn't see who had shot them until they used binoculars to identify the attacker, who turned out to be Usopp. He was standing at the top of the tower on the other side. When they were about to shoot Robin, Franky stepped in to stop them. Usopp also transferred the key pouch to Franky. Finally, Robin's handcuffs were removed, leaving Spandam shocked because the members of CP9 had been defeated. Finally, Robin was able to use her devil fruit powers. She continuously slapped Spandam in the face. At this point, the Marine battleships had arrived and were firing at the tower where Usopp was standing. He fell down to where Sanji and Zoro were, but fortunately, he managed to survive. Robin and Franky continued to attack the Marine soldiers, causing them to become fearful and jump into the sea. On Luffy's side, he was still battling Lucci. Despite being knocked away by Luffy, Lucci felt joy because Luffy could fight him. At this moment, Lucci realized that Luffy's Gear 2 involved using his legs like a pump to increase his blood flow. Lucci said, "You are shortening your own lifespan with this. I will do whatever it takes to save my comrades." Suddenly, he kicked a wall, causing water to flood into the room. Outside, the Navy ships kept firing their cannons at Eni's lobby, causing despair among all the soldiers on the island. Robin, on the other hand, was filled with fear due to the haunting memories of her past. Meanwhile, in a corridor, Zoro and Sanji were carrying Usopp as they rushed towards Robin's location. Nami's group was running not far ahead of them. Suddenly, they all saw the seawater rushing towards them, causing the group to quickly turn back. Lucci had also used Geppo to leave the room, so Luffy immediately pursued him to the upper floor. It turned out that Lucci's goal was to prevent Luffy's crew from reaching Robin. He continued to launch an attack on Luffy, and both of them were fighting at a very high speed. However, because Gear 2 had run out, Luffy was vulnerable to Lucci's counterattack. Luffy's attacks on Lucci seemed ineffective. like mosquito bites to him, he immediately lunged in, using his tail to catch Luffy. So Luffy grabbed his tail and threw him away. Lucci switched to the flying finger gun technique. He shot his fingers into the air like bullets to attack Luffy, causing him to collapse. While Lucci was thinking that he would win, Luffy said, "It's time for me to use that move." Then Luffy blew air into his fingers, turning his arm into a massive fist and punched straight into Lucci. A gigantic arm appeared, sending Lucci flying straight into the Navy warship. The Navy soldiers began to feel somewhat fearful, pointing their guns at Lucci, but quickly realized that he was the most formidable assassin of CP9. Turns out, 15 years ago, there was a kingdom that fell victim to a pirate attack. The king had to seek assistance from the world government, but they only sent a 13-year-old boy. He single-handedly defeated all the pirates. He even dealt with all the soldiers who were held hostage. This is why he's considered the coldest-blooded member of CP9. Luffy continued to fly, infusing air into his legs, and a single kick destroyed the marine battleship. However, because it was too slow, Lucci managed to bite him. Luffy was able to exhale and escape from there in time. Luffy's body continued to shrink like that of a child. On Frankie's side, he sought revenge for his mentor Tom, who had been captured by Spandam in the past. So Frankie immediately attacked him and defeated the foolish Spandam. Robin also regained her spirits. She had overcome her past. At that moment, when Lucci was about to finish off Luffy, he was unexpectedly injured. It turned out that Luffy's previous punch had an effect. As a result, Luffy had enough time to revert back to his normal state. Zoro's group saw Nami being pursued by the water, and they were all submerged. When they thought they were about to die, a mermaid came to their rescue. Sanji thought it was a legendary mermaid, but it turned out to be Kokura, the old lady. Finally, they were all rescued, but Sanji was still shocked because his mermaid turned out to be nothing more than a sea cow, and they were all reunited with Robin. Zoro discovered that the entire city was engulfed in flames. At this point, everyone was just waiting for Luffy. Luffy continued to attack Lucci, but he still couldn't defeat him. So, Luffy decided to use Gear 2 again. Luffy rushed in to attack him, continuously striking Lucci and sending him flying. But he was not easily defeated either. Suddenly, the Marines surrounded Zoro's group, cutting off their escape route. At this moment, Usopp and the others informed Luffy, "Robin has been rescued. You need to defeat that cat, and we'll leave this place." So the Marines began to attack the entire group, and everyone fought back. Zoro was being attacked by a tall Marine and was eventually defeated by Zoro. Nami used her electric attacks against the Marines. While Robin also joined the fight alongside everyone else, she said, "I'm also a member of the Straw Hat crew." On Luffy's side, he was still relentlessly attacking Lucci. However, Lucci was too powerful and used his ultimate technique, Rokuogen, to send Luffy flying and knock him down. Sogeking saw that Luffy was exhausted, so he ran over and removed his mask, shouting, "Luffy, get up. Usopp, you're here too." Usopp began to attract Lucci's attention, trying to lure Lucci to his location. Luffy said, "Stop it. I won't allow you to touch him. Your opponent is me." Usopp shouted, "Get up, Luffy. Defeat him, and we'll all go back together." So he helped Luffy to try to stand up once more. Lucci decided to end the battle with Luffy. Both of them fought at a very fast pace. At this moment, the others had to battle against devil fruit users. A man with the ability to rust metal damaged one of Zoro's swords and even caused corrosion on his body. Luckily, Usopp managed to help Zoro in time. Lucci managed to catch Luffy once again and used Rokuogen to attack him. Thinking that this time he had defeated Luffy, Lucci was surprised to see him trying to stand up and using Gatling gum to continuously punch and attack Lucci. Finally, Lucci was defeated, and the entire navy was shocked, with the news spreading that Luffy from the Straw Hat Pirates has defeated CP9's strongest assassin, Lucci. Luffy then shouted, "Let's all go back, Robin." This made Robin and everyone very happy, but at this moment, Luffy couldn't move. Seeing his crewmates still alive filled Frankie with tears of joy. The whole group still had to fight to clear a path to escape from the navy. Usopp tried to encourage Luffy to stand up and come to where they were, but Luffy's body had reached its limit. Suddenly, they started firing cannons at the ship that the Luffy's group was going to use for their escape. The navy continued to destroy the bridge, completely surrounding Luffy's group, leaving them with no way out. While everyone was in despair, Usopp heard the voice of someone. Luffy also heard the voice, saying, "Everyone, look down below." At this moment, all the members of the Straw Hat Pirates also heard it. Usopp cried out and told everyone to jump into the sea. So, Robin immediately caught Luffy and threw him into the sea. At this point, everyone jumped into the sea, and the Navy thought these people were crazy. It turned out that Mary had come to pick them up. Mary said, "I'm here to pick you guys up." In the end, everyone climbed aboard the ship. The Luffy's group still didn't know who had sailed Mary here, but the most important thing was to leave this place behind. Suddenly, Robin expressed her gratitude to everyone, which made the whole group accept it with joy. Zoro, however, said, "Save the mushy stuff for later," which caused everyone's emotions to drop, so they began to leave. But the Navy continued to fire cannons to hinder their escape. Suddenly, the gates of justice began to close, causing the Navy warships to collide with each other in a whirlpool of water. It turns out that Sanji had planned this in advance. The Navy continued to fire cannons at the group, but Zoro and Sanji managed to stop them. Although Luffy couldn't move, he still wanted to fight. So, Zoro and Sanji stretched out Luffy and used him to catch several cannonballs, then threw them back at the Navy. Seeing the Straw Hat crew escape, Spandam became furious. Robin then used her devil fruit power to capture him and exacted revenge for all that he had done to her. Frankie immediately shot a strong recoil to help Mary fly away. Frankie's crew members also took the train to leave this place. In the end, the whole group was safe. Nami wondered who the person steering the ship and telling them to jump into the sea was. However, Luffy believed that it's Mary's voice. Frankie remembered hearing Usopp tell the story of how he saw Mary's spirit. At this point, all the members of the shipwright company also came to welcome the Straw Hat crew. However, by this time, Mary was already broken, because earlier, the shipwrights had said, Mary can no longer sail the seas. But they didn't understand how it could have come to rescue the Straw Hat crew. Luffy immediately begged Iceberg, "Please help me save Mary, because Mary is our friend." But Iceberg replied, "It's too late." It turns out that earlier, Iceberg had heard Mary's voice at the harbor saying, "I want to go to the sea. Help me go to the sea one last time." So, Iceberg repaired Mary by himself to allow it to rescue Luffy's group, which surprised him because it was the first time he witnessed such an extraordinary ship. At this moment, Luffy also made the decision to bid farewell to Mary on its final journey. He could only send Mary off with a blaze of fire and the memories of their journey with it. Nami remembered the times when these three idiots often damaged Mary. Zoro remembered the time when they all sailed with Mary through the Grand Line, to embark on their dream of conquering the sea. Next is the journey in Alabasta. After that, Robin asked to join the Straw Hat crew. Together, they conquered the Sky Island. Mary suddenly spoke, "I'm sorry. I can't continue taking you on adventures anymore." Luffy said, "No, it's us who should apologize, Mary. Both me and those idiots kept causing trouble for you." But Mary said, "I was very happy to go along and be friends with all of you." In the end, Mary sank to the bottom of the sea. Today's video ends here. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support Oni-chan in the upcoming videos. Thank you all for watching, much love.